My name is Josh Shapiro, and I'm an American watchmaker, founder and owner of J & Shapiro Watches here in Los Angeles, California. I started making my own watches because I had looked into the American watchmaking history, and I thought it was such a beautiful industry, and I really thought it was a shame that it disappeared. And so my dream and my vision was to restore that industry in whatever capacity. And I started learning as much as I could, started taking apart watches, and then picked up George Daniels and said, this is what I want to do. And from there, I bought my first set of engine turning machines and said, I will start with dials, see how much I could grow from that, and then try to bring in to do everything else for a watch. So the team and I, we've been really inspired by the Daniels method, which is to do as much as you possibly can for a watch under one roof. And there's only a few brands in the world that operate this way. And for us, it's not just because that's an inspirational way to make a product, it's also very practical too, in that there are no subcontractors in the United States, or very, very few, that can make watch components, can make it to the tolerance. We manufacture everything for the case. We manufacture everything for the dial. And the movement, which is the really challenging thing, all the plates and bridges, all the small components that you see in a watch that most people never think about, but that is the guts of a watch. And there's no way we could feel right saying this is a US made watch without making all these small, challenging components. The components we don't make in the watch are most of the non-metallic parts. We don't make crystals, we don't make our gaskets. We get our jewels from a company in North Dakota, which is the last jewel maker in the country, Microlap, which is really cool. Our mainspring comes from Switzerland. Our hairspring also comes from Switzerland. It comes flat, and we do all the vibrating for it, which is a huge part of making that spring. And we're actually working on bringing in hairspring manufacture into our workshop. We found a company in the US to draw the hairspring wire, and now it's up to us to do all the R&D for coiling and heat treating of those springs. But other than that, we're doing the lion's share of making this watch in our workshop and US made. So guilloche in particular is an area that's always really fascinated me, and I first learned about it in the Daniels watchmaking book. It's a combination of the artistic side of it, paired with the machine aspect of it, paired with the history. And all those three things coming together just made me fall in love with guilloche. In particular, the complicated patterns really engaged me. So there are two types of machines in the guilloche world. There's a rose engine machine and a straight line machine. Rose engines do circular guilloche, straight line machines do vertical oriented guilloche. So with the rose engine machine, this is called a rosette. And what the machine does is it takes this pattern from the outside and transposes it onto a dial. So the pattern that's here gets shrunk onto a dial size pattern. And as this is moving around, there's a touch piece tracing this pattern. While this is turning by me literally using my hand, moving hand wheels that moves the machine. And on the other hand, I'm applying pressure to cut the lines in these geometric shapes. So there's a certain part of putting your life force into every dial in that it's original each and every time. It's not a copy, it's not a stamping, it's not a robotic process. It's an operator and a machine working together to make something. So here, this is a pattern bar for a straight line machine, and this is a massive one. This would never go on a watch dial. But essentially how this works is there's this touch that is tracing this pattern, and then that gets transposed onto a watch dial. So opposed to the rose engine machine, the straight line machine is set vertically, and the serrations on the pattern that we're copying there is much more intricate, which allows me to do these microscopic patterns in great complexity. That's what really appeals to me about the straight line patterns in particular, and my infinity weave or the basket weave. So after spending so much time with the basket weave, I really tried to think of a way where I could go to hard mode, take it to the next level. And the idea I came up with was the infinity weave. The infinity weave is a basket weave, and inside every other box is another smaller basket weave. This isn't as simple as it sounds. In order to be able to do this, we have to do the small lines in the corners one at a time. And we're talking 0.3 millimeters of separation between these lines. And if I slip and go too far, it goes into the big baskets and it's ruined. Even the first time I envisioned the infinity weave, I had no idea how to do it. Then when I figured out what I would need to be able to do it, I had to spend months practicing just to be able to pull it off. In the beginning, no joke, it took me a week to be able to do one subdial of infinity weave. I was only getting a success rate of about 25%. It was very intensive, even on my body, just being able to sit still and do this. And then slowly over time, figured out more efficient ways to do the cuts, and techniques get better, practice and practice and practice. So now we're pretty successful about 3 out of 4 times. I can usually do a full infinity weave in a day. When it comes to why I wanted to do this crazy challenging pattern, when I looked at George Daniel specifically and the dials he had made, and also Derek Pratt, I really wanted to think what can be my contribution to the guilloche world? What can I do that plays respect to what's been done before me, but also adds something new, something novel that will push me to my limits? And I really found that in the infinity weave, the way it's forced me to think about guilloche and how to take the art further. The Resurgence is our masterpiece, taking guilloche literally to a new level, multi-layered guilloche dial with the infinity weave. So we've tried to make that as aesthetically interesting and technically difficult as we possibly could. Our case construction, each lug is individually screwed in and there's guilloche running through the mid case. And then the movement itself, where we've made so many of these components and then tried to do our finishing to the highest level possible. The damascening pattern that we decorate our bridges with is something we took from American pocket watch history and did it in our own way. It's a mix of Coach de Genève and guilloche. We do internal angles to the best of our ability. Our wheels are made out of 14 karat gold with polished spokes, free sprung balance. We haven't held back on this product at all. We feel we're making a product at the highest level, on par with the best in the world. So the dial in specific on the Resurgence, the central part of the dial is our big infinity weave pattern, and that's on multiple layers. Those layers are created by taking patterns made on our 80-year-old straight line machine and taking it to our ultra-modern CNC machines. Those layers are aligned so they're seamless and fit together like a puzzle piece, something that hasn't been done before and creates a really interesting optical illusion when you look at the watch face. In the subdial, we've created a very fine moire pattern. A moire pattern is a wavy pattern that you usually see only on the center portion of a dial. So it was a huge challenge to shrink that into the subdial. The hands are sculptured, really three-dimensional hands. Each numeral, applied numeral, is polished by hand, and our rings are also finished by hand. So it's a multi-piece dial, one of the most complex dials in the world, and takes many hours for us to complete. Our production goal is to be at 36 watches a year. That takes our entire team working in concerts, developing the science of production for a watch company, making all these components, making it all come together in concert. It's a huge task. I think our goal here as a company is to share our knowledge and really help restore this industry. I don't need to have complete dominance of the US market share. I want to see lots of brands pop up, and it's in our mission statement that we share our knowledge as much as we can to rebuild this industry. And whether that's even in the United States or outside of it, we're always trying to share and grow the watchmaking community. So if I have any legacy that I leave behind from what we've built with this brand, is that it's really helped the watch community at large. At this point, I am all in on this company and on this vision. My wife, my family, everyone in the company, we're on a boat together and we're on a mission. And it's in the forefront every single day. We are going to restore this industry.